All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Wanted to speak on Devin Haney. This is the first thing that I really wanted to discuss when I return to YouTube. All right, because there's been a lot of stuff going on with him in the last few months. And look, I love Devin Haney. I like his relationship with his father. I like his drive. I see that Mayweather has taken a big liking to him. He's training with him, right? Um, I see why. He likes his drive. He has the same personality. He's motivated. He wants to be better. He wants to prove that he's the best. He wants to fight everybody. All right. And he's going to get his time. He's definitely going to get his time at some point. Um, I'm also going to speak on Tank, but the thing with Devin Haney, and he has to be very, very careful. I seen his interview on 78 Sports TV. And I've been telling people for years on this channel, you gotta understand, YouTube is very, very powerful. YouTube has come a long, long way. I've been on here for a long time, and let me tell you that these boxers watch our videos. They are very aware of us. Okay? We matter in the sport. I know this because I go to the fights and I see these guys and they see me and they acknowledge me, and I don't even have the biggest channel. There's a lot of channels out there that has a lot more subscribers than them. Most of them paid for it, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of subscribers out. A lot of channels out there that are bigger than me. Devin Haney got to be careful though. I understand why he said what he said, where he said it, because it hyped a lot of people up. When he went on there and talked about Lomachenko, calling him a white boy, he would never lose to a white boy. Now, the thing is, Devin Haney is never going to admit to losing to anybody. But he brought race into it. And that got people outraged. It's not the first time we've seen it. It's not the first time we've seen it. We've seen a lot of people do it, especially our black fighters. You know how we are. Especially when when it comes to white fighters. Even though Lomachenko is a European fighter, he's not from here. He's not American. You get where I'm going. We saw it recently with Bernard Hopkins, Joe Smith Jr. Yeah, we saw what happened to him. All right, but listen, he was on a platform to do it. He said what he said. Gotta be careful with that. You know why? Because Devin is a young kid. All right, I'm not giving him a pass for anything. But you gotta be careful because you have to think long term. Do you want a cult following, or do you want to be a worldwide? Do you want a worldwide following? Do you want people to respect you because of your skills and your talent? Or do you want people just to respect you based on race? Because if you want people to respect you based on race and solely and only race, then that's just a handful of people. That's just one group. So once you start bringing race into it, you got to understand, you could be a good fighter. You could get paid. Right? At some point, you keep winning, you're going to get some nice purses. Some real nice purses. He seemed to be living well. I see him on social media. I follow him on his Instagram. Doing well. He got nice cars. He's going on nice trips. All right? But you're still at the very, very beginning stages. You could be so much more. What we want is sponsorships. And we're in a time where people like to dig in your past and dig on things you say and put it right when you're hitting your peak. Right now, yeah, they going hard at you a little bit on YouTube, but you're not at your peak yet. You think it's hard now? Wait till ESPN starts recognizing you. Look at Floyd Mayweather. They still love to bring up the fact that he was involved in a domestic violence thing. And I know that's different, but they like to bring up every little thing you say. It always comes back. Look at Kevin Hart in his comments on Twitter. He said that years ago. You know, the gay joke that he made, they still bring it up. They will always bring it up. You have to be very, very careful what you say. You know? Now, I know you had the platform. Again, you was on a platform where that was cool for you to say. But you have to think long term. I want the best for the kid. This is small. This is something that could be forgotten. You already made your apology. Now, a lot of people were mad at what you said. And now a lot of people, the same people that you was trying to hype up, are mad at your apology. People are not loyal. Fans are not loyal. You're as good as your last fight. Yeah, diehards are going to back you up, and yeah, they're going to have your back when you take your losses. But they usually don't. For the most part, they don't. And the problem with Devin Haney is, on here, on this YouTube thing, which is very important, people are using you for their specific agendas. All right? People use you because they don't like other people in that division. Just like other fighters. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. With fighters. They're not really a fan of you. They just want to see someone lose. You know? And when it comes to Devin Haney, don't be that new Guillermo Rigondeaux. Don't be that Nicholas Walters. Don't be that. Don't be that. Don't allow yourself to be used that way. You're your own man. Be your own man. Now, I know you want to fight Loma, and I respect that you do. And you should fight him soon. But do it for you. Don't be doing it for no group, no people. Don't do it for you. This is your career. Because you take some losses, they're not gonna care about you no more. Nobody cares about Rigo or Nicholas Walters. After they lost, especially Rigo, not so much with Nicholas Walters, but when Rigo was being pumped up as a guy that Loma was ducking, and then he quit on his stool, nobody talks about them. Same people don't talk about him no more. They would never do another video. He still fights. They're not covering Rigondeaux no more. Because he already lost. He already his service is done here. Don't become that. Don't become that. Be your own man. Because look. People was already not feeling you because you went over there with Eddie Hearn, right? So people already stopped fucking with you because of that, right? Then you started making your comments about the Tyson Fury fight. Glovegate is going on. You think Tyson Fury beat Wilder? Fair. They start making videos about you. Start dissing you. Then when you said your little white boy comment, love you again. Then when you apologize, they hate you again. This is what I'm trying to say. This is part of the sport. You got to do you. You can't be on here trying to be liked. That's corny. You think Floyd Mayweather, that's the difference between you and Floyd. And you're young. So I understand that you just, and I know you have your father. Bill is there. But Bill is new to this game too. This fame, they never gotten this fame before. So you got to be your own man. You can't sit here be trying to be liked. You know? Speaking on Floyd Mayweather is the same guy during this Gucci outrage, for example. Everybody was outraged over a fashion, a designer every other week. Because of some, racist clothing that was put out there. What did Floyd do? He go to the Gucci store. Yeah, he tapes himself doing it. We know what's up. He wants to be seen. But at the end of the day, Floyd, he's not with everybody. He's not no follower. That's what he said. I'm not no follower. I'm about to go into Gucci. Now, do I agree with him taping himself and just, you know what I'm saying? He's making it bigger than what it is. No, but that's how Floyd move. Floyd does Floyd. He's not here sitting here trying to do anything and be any kind of way for anybody. He's being himself. That's it. So Devin needs to learn to be him. Now, for the people on both ends, all right, because there's people over here now that's trying to trash him for his comments. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be mad. If you felt a way about what he said about Lomachenko, then all right, that's on you. And if you felt the way about what he said by apologizing, then all right, that's on you. But you guys gotta understand, this guy's a kid. Leave him alone. Now, if it becomes a pattern, yeah, all right. If you're Adrian Broner, like Adrian Broner messed up a couple times, all right, whatever. We'll get over it. But when it becomes a pattern, it's like every year he's into some other shit outside of the sport. Then I could get like, all right, at this point, he's 30 years old and he's still acting the same way. All right, we can be like, all right, well, this dude's a clown. But Devin Haney, y'all went way too hard on this kid. Why do y'all break people down so hard whenever they do something that you don't like or say something you don't like? Nobody has a magnifying glass on you all day. He went on internet, said something that, you know, people thought was out of line. It was out of line. And then he apologized for it. So people were outraged with what he said, and then people was outraged for him being apologized over it. Kid's like 21 years old. Like, what did you do when you was 21 years old? Nobody knows. So, like, I don't get why people go so hard at these young fighters, especially the young ones that never been involved. I mean, even Shakur Stevenson, right? His situation was much worse. His situation was much worse. Where, you know, he's on video fighting this couple, and you know what I'm saying? It's just a bad look. It was really, really bad. As bad as it was, listen, if he gets in order, sometimes people stumble and get in trouble as they're growing up. That's part of life. If it becomes a pattern, then yeah, like, all right, we could say like, nah, I can't really rock with Shakur Stevenson. He's always acting up. He's hard headed. He's gonna ruin his career. But if the kid does a mistake and says something and he's apologetic about it, then leave him alone. That's it. Let him do his thing. At the end of the day, he's young. He's motivated. He's an undefeated fighter. He's doing well for himself. I'm happy for him. I want him to succeed. Not for my personal agendas towards other people. That's just, I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. Especially these young Black American fighters. I want him to do well because look at him, we're watching the news every week. Another rapper from, I don't want to get too far off topic, but every week is another rapper getting shot somewhere. So when I see a guy that's doing well, I want him to continue doing well. You know? I want him to continue doing well. I'm glad he's in the gym with Floyd, and that goes into what's his name? Tank Davis. Tank, dude, stop rushing to social media every time you feel a way about something. Him, Broner, Broner's older now, but Tank, he's a little older than Devin Haney, but dude, he seems like he's not focused, man, and he seems like he's going into a different path. He seems like he's going exactly where Adrian Broner is going. And again, we're talking patterns here. This kid doesn't seem to be focused. He just doesn't. People make it, they knock some people out, they make their money, and they just jump into thinking that that's it. Like, no, you gotta think bigger, bro. You gotta think long term. You know, you gotta think long term. These fighters don't think long term. They thinking about the now. You are under Floyd Mayweather's wing. You know why he's in the gym sparring with Devin Haney? Because Devin Haney is motivated. He wants to get better. You don't even want to be out there in Vegas. You have the opportunity to be out there in Vegas. Look at Bottle Jack. He doesn't have that God-gifted talent that a lot of other fighters did. But what did he do? He moved to Las Vegas to improve on his skill. And he was able to get up there and become a world champion. You know, we seen him get knocked out in his career. You know, he's one of the guys we always just be like, Mayweather promotion fighters suck. But at least he made something. He beat some good fighters. He had some fighters, some fights that, you know, that were draws that I thought he wanted to fight. But he had some setbacks. But you know what? He made something for himself. And he's a guy from Switzerland. You know? Well, he's from Switzerland, I believe. So anyway, he went out there, you know, and Tank is a better talent. But he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave the hood. And when I say the hood, I mean that hood mentality. He doesn't want to get out of it. He wants to stick with it. And he's too emotional. And that hood mentality is a lot of it is based on emotion without thinking. Just purely acting off emotion at the moment. So when he sees something, he gets on his Twitter. He tweets how he's feeling. He doesn't call Floyd. He doesn't want to talk. Like, goes straight to social media. And that's a problem with a lot of these young celebrities today. They don't know how to act. They just go on social media. They want the public to see what they're feeling. You got Floyd Mayweather's number. You don't want to call him? You don't want to call this guy and say, yo, what's up? You know? But Floyd's probably saying, well, you know what? I'm sorry, I got this fighter signed, but he ain't motivated like that. But I got this kid here that wants to be good. He wants to be great. He's motivated. He wants to train. So now he's putting his focus on that kid. He sees a lot. We see it. Tank has the talent, without a doubt. He's definitely good. But he lacks the drive. That's why he's not making weight. He's struggling against guys like Gamboa, much older Gamboa. You know? Gamboa was a great fighter. And in his prime, he's probably better than Tank. But he's far past it. He's far past it. You know? He struggled much more than Terrence Crawford did. And Terrence Crawford fought a better Gamboa. A much better Gamboa. At the same weight division. You know? Tank got to get it together. But I'm not going to keep saying it. Because now, with him and his, the domestic thing. And just him and his lack of motivation for this sport. I'm starting to say, well, he got to get it together, but I don't know if he can get it together at this point. I think he's just content with the fame that he has now. I think he's might have reached his mental peak. You know, I think he's reached his mental peak. And his mental peak is affecting his skills in the ring. And this is why they don't want to throw him in there with anybody. Good. I keep saying to myself, there were a lot of people in my comments always saying that they think Tank could beat Lomachenko. With the Pedraza win, at that time, there were people that think that he can beat Lomachenko. Now, whether he can actually do it or not, I don't think he can, but, that's a different story. But it's a good fight. That would have been a good fight if he got that. But Tank is not only being protected, but he doesn't seem like he wants to fight anybody good. He seems like he wants to keep fighting these guys from 126. You know? Um, so yeah, I mean, listen, this is what it is. He's upset. I mean, when is he not upset, about something? He's always angry. In public or on social media, he's always bothered by something. Uh, I feel bad because I feel like a lot of these fighters, man, I just think they're around a bunch of yes men. And there's a lot of fighters I feel that way about. And I think these fighters, they need people that are going to stay on top of them. You know, you're gonna still make mistakes. Example, Devin Haney, but at least you have someone on your back that's keeping you in line. And I think a lot of these fighters don't have that. They want a bunch of yes men in their circle. I've always said that about Adrian Broner. You know, Sean Porter, he don't need none of that. He got his pops and he chill. He does his own thing. He fights. And that's another problem with these fighters. This is your job. When you're not fighting, the very bare minimum, at least stay in shape. You want Floyd Mayweather greatness, it starts with you just committing yourself to the sport. You have to commit yourself. You have to do, at bare minimum, you have to stay in shape. And none of these fighters want to do that. They blow up. So camp is all about cutting the weight and then preparing for the opponent. So anyway, 135, I still have a lot that I want to discuss because I do want to speak on Lopez and Loma, Ryan, and all these guys. But I really like Devin Haney, man. I think he's gonna get his time. And again, with Lomachenko, I said in the past, I think Teofimo Lopez deserves a shot first. Okay, because Teo's been around more, and he's been calling out Loma a lot longer than Devin Haney has. Okay, Teofimo's been talking. I think I seen like an old Dante's boxing video where Teofimo Lopez, before I even knew what he did, or who he was. I seen him young talking about Lomachenko a long time ago. And then he's been coming up. He's been knocking people out, and he beat Coleman. He won his title. He earned his title. I'm not saying that Devin didn't earn his, all right, but he didn't beat someone to gain the title, and he hasn't beat any real notable fighters. The best fighter he's fought was that last fighter that was unknown, and he was a good fighter. And I'm not one of those guys, like, just because you had a rough fight, I do acknowledge that fight, even though we didn't know who that guy was, I can see that the guy was a good fighter. I can see that. So I'm not going to go hard on him like a lot of other people. And that's a problem with like these boxing fans on here. Some are going hard on him for the most ridiculous reason. He's struggling to fight a little bit. So what? Everybody's struggling to fight a little bit at some point. Even the greats, or even all-time greats. So what? So what? But he's on the come up, and I think he will get his opportunity. And I think I know he wants to fight Loma now. But keep improving. And Loma, it's not like Loma's sitting here getting any better. You're gonna get your opportunity, and I think listen, Loma is a fighter as talented as he is, as skillful as he is. A lot of his talent is based off his athleticism. We see what happens with guys when they start slipping a little bit. The reflexes are not as strong. He's a guy that needs to have quick reflexes. He needs to continue to have those reflexes as long as possible. We see what happened to Roy Jones. We see what happened to Mike Tyson. We see what's happened to Guillermo Regan now. Lomachenko is another one of those fighters that needs to have extremely fast reflexes. I don't know if his reflexes is going to stick around as long as Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's not in his prime, but his reflexes and his athleticism was so out of this world that it still stands. He could still beat young guys like Keith Thurman. You know, what if he was at his peak? He would have destroyed Keith Thurman. You know, so I don't know if Loma is going to still be that good, but I mean, just based on his training, the way he trains, and I see so many videos of him, he's going to be sharp for a long time. All right, so you'll get your shot. But I do think that T.O. deserves it first, only because of who he beat and how he won his title, and the fact that he's been pushing to get this fight for a long time. I think T.O. deserves it first. You know, but I want Devin to get his shot, you know, and I want Ryan to keep doing his thing too, you know. Ryan is doing well. All of them are doing well. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.